Okay.
All right, we start now?
Yep.
Good. Oh, you even have the share thing ready. You are totally on it. Oh, and Molly, I'm seeing you talk about industries and stuff. The presentation, I'll go ahead and I'll put that together. I'm going to put that together. Not like as we speak, but I'll randomly talk about it as we before we talk about the other thing, because I have an entire presentation that we'll do the video thing on this. But you talked about like the coal and stuff. We have that would be the that would be carnivorous. Pennsylvania. There's Pennsylvania epic of the carnivorous period. That is the whole reason, because carnivorous was broken into two of the epics, right? Mississippian and Pennsylvanian, and this is in Indiana where our coal is, because that is where that was formed, because we were actually land at that time, and so that's terrestrial deposits, which is like so cool. And so we'll put this together, and I'll get it up next week. All right, so where's the other thing? The thing I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, it's still trying to do the PowerPoint. All right, so share something. How do I change
Bill, can you switch me over to host, please?
Why?
Or co-host?
You can't be co-host. You don't need to be co-host.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Listen, nice. Is this the right one?
Yes.
You're one to be co-host, so you can take control, aren't you? I see how this is going to play. All right, does that look good on your screen?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, all right. So what did we do for this video? Oh, we did all that stuff. This is the one where you talked about. No, it's not.
At the end.
Oh, at the end you did, right? Oh, this is the one we did the pH stuff with. That was fun making. But all right, so the video wise for this one, fairly straightforward. Oftentimes we've seen, I know a lot of people have done, we were just talking about geologic time a second ago, and whenever I teach geologic time, I always start with a personal timeline, regardless. Always, every time I start with a personal timeline. And what we'll do is I started up on the board, just like I said in the video. We'll do on the board, and we'll do like a class timeline. And this happened. Where is this? Now, how far? And I'll usually do like a quick draft first and do like these no units, whatever, just randomly putting things up. And I'm like, okay, so this amount of time, is it same as this? And I'm like, wait, no. If that wasn't the same, I'm like, oh, so what do we need to do? Oh, we need to have some sort of measurements for our units, and we need to go through and actually do this right way. So then we will do that. Then in their journals, they'll do a timeline of their life, and they'll have to have at least so many events, and we'll all agree on one event that happened within their life to make sure everyone had in theirs in that way. Later, when we start to talk about relative and absolute dating, we all have that relative marker in ours. And so, and I've even been known to make up timelines for like the counselor and stuff like that, which were like ridiculous timelines, but they love me. But and then for those, we still have that marker, so in their life this happened. Then when we talk about relative dating, we can still line theirs up with the kids. And so that's just a way of doing relative dating in people's lives, in which relates directly back to doing relative and absolute dating for geology. And so with this one, I start off rambling about the dynamic planet. That's one that we do use. I always had like the small printouts and stuff when I would teach it, but then it's like one of the teachers who retired from teaching and came work with us. He's like, no, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, I've been told that all my life. But there's so many things. But he did the whole poster, and we had it laminated, and he had kids groups using the whole poster to put that together to see how those plates moved. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool being able to do it that way. And I gave you the links to the dynamic planet, and it's in the presentation. Of course, it's right there. And I did a walkthrough in the video, didn't I? I did, right? So I won't bother rambling about that. Then the geologic time scale. I think I put my disclaimer in. If not, it'll be the end of this presentation, which has last year's stuff in it too. Don't worry, all our presentation says last year's and this year's. If we did something similar, we left last year's stuff in there, so you still have those resources. But the cards in the lesson for the geologic time scale here, Another, once again, I shout out again every time. I did not develop those. I used those when I taught, and I don't know where I came from other than my files in this old filing cabinet that I had, and I used them. If you recognize them, I would love to give somebody credit for that. Until then, it's just something that I found in my files. But those, we just use photos of the key species. And so it's nice if you have some fossils in your classroom. We can talk about, okay, where would this have been? What is this? And so I know with the little kits, we pushed out some fossils. But then the karst topography, this is the new stuff this year because it's just fun. It's fun talking about karst. And so the USGS map, you can pull that up, see where karst topography is in the continental US. That is very interesting. We're talking about a bigger geologic picture. And so in karst topography, our karst is, I think we talked a few minutes ago, we mentioned limestone, right? Well, we had those shallow marine environments, crustaceans, they build up, blah, 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 we have limestone. And so that limestone, as rain goes through the soil, it becomes more acidic. That water becomes more acidic, it eats away at limestone. And so, and of course, that's where we have mineral replacement. When we talk about fossilization, there's so many directions you can go there. Sorry if I'm running in too many directions. But there's a lot of things we could talk about there, but I love doing karst because it's so fun. And usually I should have, I'm sorry, I cheated you guys, but I didn't think about it till just now. We should have pulled up some of the sinkhole pictures and talked about, like Bill out, you were from Arizona, was it Arizona? No.
Yep, I was in Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. And out where you were in Arizona, because I remember when we were out there driving that Wolfrock conference, we were talking about that whole, there's entire areas there that are starting to sink. And then it's like Mexico City is one where it's sinking. Now, a lot of these aren't actually due to individual sinkholes. Those sinkings, those areas are lowering in height because of groundwater usage. So if you do groundwater, you talk about groundwater stuff, I would definitely talk about those areas because that's groundwater usage. It's being pumped out so much the ground's starting to settle. And so water capacity will never be the same even. And so it's having detrimental effects all the way down the road, which I think I was sidetracked right there. But sinkholes are so fun to talk about, showing pictures of where houses and cars. I mean, as long as it didn't happen to you, it's fun, I guess. But that was kind of mean, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, it's maybe not fun, interesting to be able to talk about the sinkholes. And I know Southern Indiana has the Hidden River. And so we can talk about that, where it literally goes into sinkholes, hits these underground caverns, disappears for miles and miles, and pops back out. This is so cool. I'm actually reading a book, a fiction book based on that, which is weird and interesting at the same time. And so we did what did I put in here? I don't remember. Pull up your other screens. People are commenting. I couldn't see what they said.
Okay.
You have one job.
Well,
yes.
My students love hearing about the sinkhole at the Corvette Museum in Kentucky. Ooh, Corvette Museum. Oh, that's a good one.
That'd be an expensive sinkhole. Mercy. But
yeah.
So we want to talk about karst. We wanted to go into that. Oftentimes I see teachers, and I did the same thing. We did the chalk. And I did not do, but I have some friends that I know that they get that big old hunk of chalk thing, and they will set up a drip and just have it dripping through until it makes the, someone had a YouTube video of the security camera of that. Oh, that would be fun to see.
YouTube video, yeah.
That would have to be.
Look it up.
Yeah, now we're going to look that up. Great.
We love it. Thank you.
But what was I talking about? I forgot. Oh, the chalk. Yes, the chalk and the vinegar drip. Bill's like, yeah, this is Steve. The vinegar drip, doing a vinegar drip on chalk. It's fun having the small pieces and having the kids do the eyedroppers and see effervescence. We can talk about what's happening there. And we use that with limestone to see if it is limestone, if we're doing a rock unit, and to be able to check to see if it's limestone versus, of course, your dolomite won't do that because it's had mineral replacement. But that's so much fun. But I've had teachers do like those huge blocks of chalk. They set up like a drip where it would just drip on there to watch it actually to see what would go and how it would go through that. And I thought that was really neat. Hey, there's the link. And don't hit it now because then I'll watch it.
Okay.
But one of the things, I don't know, do you guys have those little tub? Hey, do me a favor,
Yeah.
grab one of those clear box things over
Okay.
there.
Yep.
Right there. I know you're doing things, but those we use them for topography. The boxes on the shelf. Just reach straight in past that the black curtain thing. Ignore the curtain. Reach in and grab that thing. It's clear, probably. No, where you were first. Yeah, reach right in there. In there, there's these clear tub things. Yeah. What's in your hand? Yeah, bring me that thing in your hand. Yeah, the clear tub in your hand. That's the clear tub I'm talking about. It's the only clear tub there. My instructions were really good. You had it in your hand and you kept looking. That's so embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for. I'm not embarrassed for me. I'm embarrassed for you right now. Sad. I'm so sad. So how many people have used these? We should put these in a kit for you, Bill. But these, then you put a piece of paper over it and you do the topography. Well, what I've had people that didn't have these, they'll just use a clear tub and they'll bury chalk in the clear tub. Then they'll have students do that with the skewers, and then they'll run vinegar through there. As it eats away the chalk, it leaves holes and crevices in there, just like we would get in karst topography, which is really, really cool. But these are just straight up topography ones. You fill it with sand, have them run the to build topo maps. That's what those are for. Okay. But like I said, I've seen people do it in clear tubs. We set that up one year, and I think I gave them all away. I ended up not even getting to do it because the group that was coming, I was going to do it for, didn't come. I gave them all to the teacher. But we set up a bunch of those, put a bunch of chalk in them, and like I said, had students eat. We ran vinegar through to make the crafts. So it was a lot of fun. I'm totally sidetracked, I think. But pH change, that's you. That stuff we did with you. You want to explain that?
Yeah, so what he was saying with the karst topography, we're getting that acidic change because the carbon dioxide, you already said that, it went into the soils. And actually we're getting ready to talk about, that'll be part of what we talk about in the next section, which is the
chemistry stuff.
The chemical reaction things. But we can see, for one thing, we could do a demonstration. It's a really safe demonstration with students using universal indicator. I always had just a ton of universal indicator and never really knew what to do with it, but we found a really cool use for it. We just, and I feel like I'm kind of slow sometimes, but putting a few drops of that universal indicator in some tap water, and you can see that it's right at that neutral pH level. So it's showing right at about a 7. And then you, we'll see. Maybe it is. If not, maybe get some distilled water or something that's going to be more neutral. But then you use a straw and it's just water and a few drops of that universal indicator, and you blow just your breath into the water. And I don't know, what it take, like 2.5 minutes or so.
It was pretty fast.
Yeah, it happens pretty quickly. You can see it just in the 2 minutes that I was blowing breath into the water, that it's a very clear change on the universal indicator pH scale. And I just like doing that because it just shows the students how quickly that decomposition, or no, that would be a synthesis, is happening, right? From the carbon dioxide mixing with the water to form that carbonic acid and drop the pH.
It was fun collaborating with her on that because I had not done pH as far as that before. I know we borrowed from the high school chemistry teacher some BTB.
Right.
And we'd done like the BTB in a bag, which I think we did that for the video.
We did.
With the vinegar and baking soda. And so we've done that in the bag, talk about, briefly about chemical changes, but I had not done and one of my faculty had did the blowing into something to change it before.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that is cool. And I talked to you about it. And that's where you brought your chemistry in to help with that.
And it's kind of fun too. You can actually do extensions of that where, you just have your students at rest, taking their breath and blowing into it. But then you can go, you can have them go do some jumping jacks or something and get to doing more physical activity. They're going to get more of that carbon dioxide buildup, and it turns a little quicker. So it depends.
And so, but that was fun. I mean, you saw it in the video, and so you know that one. And on this presentation thing, we left last year's.
Yeah, so that they like the teaching pH, the non-toxic with the universal indicator.
Yeah. We left last year's on there, and last year it was a little more talking about rocks and minerals a little bit with this one. the box of rocks thing that we did, and the link to the videos are in each of these. So if you want to see last year's, you're welcome to. But talking about the box of rocks ID, the mineral story, I like that every rock has a story thing. It's I've seen that in tons of places. I think the Women in Mining has a version of it, and it's a bunch of other places. The box of rocks, when I do rocks and minerals, I usually start with that, and that's just literally. I start with candy. To be honest, I'll put different candies in there and have them sort it. And we're talking about taxonomy at that point. It's classification system is all we're doing at that point. And so then we'll jump into rocks and we'll have people sort theirs the same way someone else did and do justifications. And it's a one period thing, but it's fun. But I like having students write the story of their rock and making sure they have vocabulary built into that. And so you have to, do you have a metamorphic? They can even make up a rock. They don't have to have an actual sample. Oh, I have this rock. It's Michael the metamorphic rock. And here's the story, here's all it's been through and stuff like that. It's just fun. And so there's that. Oh, we did the crown shaving last year.
Yep.
That'll be in last year's video also, the crown shaving. That it works. I mean, we just used a hot plate. Don't do it before you go to art and leave it on there, by the way, or music or whatever special that I went to. We'll just leave it that. In the mineral, and there's a link to a presentation that I did in a classroom a few years back when I was teaching minerals for one of my friends in her class. And so I did a presentation, and it's fairly detailed about the minerals. I thought, if I remember right, it was halfway all right. Then a geologic time, simple the way we did this year. Talking about the cards in the lesson, same type of thing I did this year. So that's what's in all of that. But the Emily Hall one. I'll explain that real fast too. So I was going to do you an injustice, but let's face it, it's not the first time I've done you an injustice today. If you've been to any of these already, and I'm just guessing you probably have been. Yeah,
Our interviews.
No, the interviews with scientists. I'm not guessing you've seen all of those, but we try to do interviews with scientists that relates to content that we want to teach. We started the Superheroes of Science, actually a force of teachers. And so the one with Emily Hall, this, I don't know if you can see the preview thing. Maybe I got to click it for you to see it. I don't know. But, you can't see it there like that. But she teaches in the blue holes, the blue holes in the ocean. It is all about limestone, because Florida, there's a lot of limestone in that area. Same, just like here, all these holes, the sinkholes basically, and how they have their own ecosystems. That's what she researches and studies. The early ones, we actually did do links. So some of the early ones, we stopped doing them because no one was using them, as far as we know. And so no one's complaining we stopped making them, and so I quit. But we actually made there's the audio because a lot of teachers can't do YouTube, but their students listen to audio. So each of those Superhero Science on audio. Then we actually have questions that go along with it. What is pH? These are the questions that she answers, the scientist herself answers in the interview. And so that's why we started doing these. It's morphed and changed a little bit. Some of it's a little more just looking at interesting things, more than filling gaps in our curriculum, which is why we started those. But some of those are fun. The blue holes one's really good with this because she just does a good job. She's very energetic and dynamic, and a lot younger, especially compared to someone as old as I am. But yeah, that's why we made those. That's why we started those for subplans.
Yes. Well, we had a comment that someone had posted, "Hey, I'm using this for subplans," and we're like, "Oh, teachers are using it." And so we did more and more of those.
For like the first year, we made all those for everything we did, but then we're like, I don't know if people are really using them, and so we stopped making them and started doing some other things. But we still do the Superhero Science every week. We release those. And this week's was data visualization, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How to visualize.
We had data visualization. This was really cool to hear. It's because we know how important data literacy is to help students connect like the materials that we're teaching them in the classroom to just to real world phenomena. And so to hear from Dr. Vitria Bird about that's her whole job is everything that goes into data visualization and helping students understand, especially that raw data they might be collecting. If you're someone that does research projects with students, and that's something they have to figure out is, well, how is the best way to support the data that I'm collecting? She just has some really awesome insights. It's longer than our 25, 30-minute episode, but gosh, it's really good. She has some excellent terminology related to that.
But if there's, as we've mentioned yesterday, there's a content you're like, oh, hey, could you do a worksheet for this? Or, hey, could you find someone, interview them for this? Because my students would like to see. And we've even had someone submit questions to us in the past. Hey, our students would like to know this from a scientist. Find one, interview them, ask it. And we do. Yeah. And so and that's kind of fun because it's actually kids' questions themselves when we get to do those. And so we like those. Those are fun times. But it's been an interesting ride. But the geology one, this was pretty straightforward, I felt. And so I think the video again I think we did all right explaining how we teach that and how we walk through. And I shared all of that stuff with the links with you. And so there's nothing really extra. Everything's in that presentation with the links. And any questions about those? I know, Bill, all of mine are short, aren't they? I think Sarah rambles too much, but I don't take enough time. Maybe you're not. Maybe I'm not.
I don't know.
Maybe I need to ramble. Bill's no. No. I'll talk geology. That's fun. I don't see any questions popping up. Yeah, the 2 o'clock session. That's right. Get done, get out of there. See?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
See?
Just for that, I'm going to hold you till the bitter end. I'm joking.
She's talking all that chemistry junk at 2.
What?
I mean, she is sharing great chemistry ideas with us at 2 Eastern. That's pretty exciting time. But and you'll see overlap a little bit in some of the ones that we're doing. But I'm so thorough. There's no questions. Well,
and they like the receipt tape for geological time. Yep, that's.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
See the power. See, everybody's looking at the PowerPoint thing now.
Yeah.
We all have to see what's the mean one.
Sorry, I just processed what you. That's funny.
Oh, hey, did you see that?
What's that?
Okay, something fun to do after you blow into the universal solution is put a test tube with a water plant, and the water changes back as plant. Oh, wow. That's a good idea. We've not done that.
That's an awesome idea. Thank you for that. Wow. I like that a lot.
Yeah, just stop up. Yeah, you'd have to stop up the test tube. Those big test tubes we sent out, those would be good for that. You just got to get a stop.
Oh, that is cool.
You're going to control all? That's it.
What's control all?
Control A.
Oh. How many people know control A is control all? That's really cool. I didn't know.
You know what? Out of the 26 participants, I'm guessing 25 know that.
Why are you assuming I don't know how to do it, Steve?
You were the 26th.
Oh, that's what I meant. You're assuming I'm the one that doesn't know how. Yeah.
Old Rock Not Boring by Dem is a great picture book. Oh, I've not seen this. I've not seen this picture book.
Cool. What great ideas.
I keep trying to look at your camera because the last one. I have no idea where to look.
I'm getting them all.
getting water plants at the pet store. That's what I was thinking. Going through because you go to the aquarium store. We used to do when we did ecosystems. When I taught elementary, where we did ecosystems, and that's where we would go to, like the fish store, to get water plants. Oh, I was gonna say, oh, someone put a link to the book, but it was you, Bill. Well, your Google skills are improving.
Thank you. I try.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, how
the kids design
wonderful.
ways to increase photosynthesis. You can count the bubbles of oxygen as photosynthesis increase. So, what is that?
Elodia.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah, is an invasive plant. Yeah, we so that was another episode that we had a few weeks ago on our urban forestry specialist, but he did a whole thing on invasive species, and he did mention Elodia, I think, in one of our times. We had some problems with the microphone the first interview with him, but yeah. Oh, and make a video. Oh, we should do that with the blowing the water in and getting that plants in.
We can do that. We can do that. Oh, and someone yelled at us yesterday because the calendar thing. Because the podcast, we have 2 podcasts we do. The Superheroes of Science, where we interview science. Then every Monday at, I don't know, like 4 o'clock Eastern, we get together and just talk about something. It's like a teacher's lounge. It's like we just chat about something. Usually it's fairly random because I can never remember what I told people I'd talk about. Life science, but if it's living, who cares? It's if it hadn't been dead for hundreds of years.
We agree on this one thing.
So. I mean, you know, jeez, really? Fine, put it on the list. Jeez. But the Mondays we do one, then we release that in, just later in the week.
Yeah. Oh, but what about the calendar thing?
Oh, someone yelled, oh, I knew there's a reason I was talking about it. They're
deader the better. I love it. That is, gosh,
yes.
I needed that saying like 10 years ago. Try not to show your enthusiasm so much.
But that's why she's my friend. What was I talking about?
The calendar.
Oh,
Someone said about the
calendar. So the calendar, someone said, hey, I didn't see anything on it. That's because we haven't put my stuff on it. I've been lazy. It's summer. We'll do it next week.
Oh yes, God, photosynthesis is a chemical. Stuff. It is a chemical reaction. You're right. Thank you for the reminder.
I think you got called out right there.
I think
that was on you. I like
it was.
That.
I'm just being a whiner. You are right. I am wrong. We need to do this.
I'm right.
Rachel is correct. Rachel is right.
I thought you were saying I was.
About time scale dinosaurs extinction. Did you know what color the dinosaurs are? Is that what you're going to write, Casey? Oh, that's a good one too. Here's my thoughts on that. You answer the questions that are asked. Nothing more, nothing less. So you answer the questions. Life science. You only has one question, and also maybe not even dinosaur, just babies in general. That's fun.
But they were alive and that was fine. Now they're dead and they're fun to study.
Ooh.
Who wants to study?
That is hilarious.
Things?
I have one question. Where do babies come from?
I think there's a reason my kids never asked me. I think they both asked my wife about stuff like that. No, they didn't ask me.
I think my kids all asked me. I'm not sure they asked my husband.
My kids were afraid I'd answer, I think.
My kids know I'll answer. They know I'm going to tell them exactly what I tell them. I tell them everything. That's funny.
God did it. I had a geology professor that was his answer to everything. If he didn't know it, yeah, I mean, like he was a paleontologist and he was super knowledgeable about all things paleo, but that was his answer for everything. If he didn't know the answer, oh, God did it. He'd just walk away.
Oh, and we have another recommendation, the Your Inner Fish series. And I've heard about that series.
Your Inner Fish.
Your Inner Fish series.
Sounds like a
to
self-help
help
book.
to help connect with geologic time, the animal part. Your
Oh.
Inner Fish.
Tell me it's not self-help though, right?
No, it's super cool. It talks about how we made our transition from the ocean to land with this scientist looking for that fossil. And they have another Your Inner Animal, Your Inner Reptile, just how we made these steps. Kind of geared more towards upper, like 8th grade, 9th grade and above. But if you've got some really mature kids, it works.
That is an awesome suggestion.
So did you hear that, Steve? If you have mature kids, so it's not a book for you. It's okay.
For those of you who are curious about why I drink when he insults me, the same reason I have to cover up the bottom of my cup. I didn't show it. I have stickers on my cup. They're pretty.
There's just the wrong sticker on the bottom.
Yeah.
You don't want to see.
Only shown it during a presentation once
my
because I
gosh.
forgot it was there after I put it on there. Bill's like texting me.
Put your cup down.
So do we, any more questions for Steve and Sarah, for Stephen and Sarah? Any other thoughts?
I like hearing what everybody else is doing.
I know. Oh, thank you, Shauna. Got the link.
Oh yeah, it's to that one. What's everyone else doing?
What's everyone else doing? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is more fun. Checking out the single presentation.
Oh, yay. Yeah, with Emily Hall. I'm telling you what, we interviewed her and like a couple weeks later, we had National Geographic on one night. There was, I don't know, my husband likes the Blue Earth and different. I don't know if that's what we were watching, but he watches a lot of shows on that. And all of a sudden, Emily Hall, the same person we had just interviewed, just shows up on the screen. And I said, oh, I know her. I just interviewed her. And my husband was like, no way, you don't know that woman. And I'm like, no, I really do. I just talked to her a couple weeks ago. And so
We have video proof.
I know. Yeah, cool. He doesn't watch a lot of the episodes. He's also not a science teacher. So.
Well, there you go. There you go. But yeah, that one's cool. She's really neat. She's really neat. And the chemistry wise, we just did the Paul Smith's How Fireworks Were Made. That was fun.
Oh, yes.